Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Winners Bracket Round 4 of the Pillars of Amar Team Tournament. We had Thrill Home casting for us earlier, so now we are bringing in our second tryout, Real Platty. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm the Real Platty. I'm new to Eternal, but I'm gonna try to make this entertaining for you guys along with Beardris, my good pal.
Awesome. And we are going to be jumping into Team Always Lucky versus Team ECGBR. And we have Rubik's Tesseract on Stone Scar Burn playing up against Paulo Goriev on Felnscar Control, also known as Love Up in the game.
Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty one-sided match depending on draws for the players. If Paulo doesn't draw many lightning storms, he's probably gonna get rolled, but as we can see, he has one in his opening hand. This is gonna be probably an even match for the most part.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rubik's off to a very aggressive start. We'll see if Love Up elects to go ahead and get this Lightning Storm down now, since it's only going to clean up one unit.
Looks like he was eyeing his banners, so don't think he's gonna go for it immediately, but Rubik's has a very good hand here with a Cabal Countess next turn with the follow-up Steward. Oh, he top decked the Sigil, so yeah. This is turning out very well for the Rubik's.
Yeah, Rubik's looks like he will have a very quick game here. Already pushing in this 5 damage, and we, like you had pointed out, we see the Cabal Countess in hand. Going to be able to put in a lot of work for him. Love Up on the other side, at least getting out a 4/4 champion.
Yeah, that's pretty nice here. Gets walled by the Steward, but I think a Lightning Storm to clean up the Countess can... Oh, he abilities. Okay. So a Lightning Storm here would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're definitely going to see that Lightning Storm come in. Love Up probably just going to have to elect to go down to 12 health, take the 6 off the Countess, and we'll be seeing that Lightning Storm get fired back in.
Yeah. Let's see. Next turn, can Death strike the incoming Steward if he so wants to? Maybe he'll draw a Shadow Sigil to activate his champion up to Deadly, which would be a very good beatdown.
Yeah, Rubik's here drawing very light on gas right now. The Suffocate will at least get held around for a few turns, probably to clean up the Statuary Maiden floating around in Love Up's hand, but it's actually looking like this game is starting to swing pretty hard back in Love Up's favor. Rubik's, like I said, just running out of gas, unfortunately, not hitting really anything he's looking to play.
Yeah, right here, I don't know. If this was me, I probably would have Vara's favored to get the champion onto Deadly, but it's not me, so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there with that play. It's interesting that he did decide to commit the Statuary Maiden down, since it was just cleaned up with the Suffocate, and he is going to go ahead and take 3 now, going down to 11. That's putting him in a dangerous range of Rubik's, and Rubik's is holding a torch.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good draw from Love Up. Permafrost can hold down the Steward or the Argent Port, and he can clean up the other unit with the Death Strike next turn.
Yeah, if I had to imagine, I'll probably go ahead and Permafrost Steward of the Past. Leaving Argent Port Instigator Permafrost on board can often be a negative drawback to you, where you can take a lot of damage from those 1 damage triggers over the course of a game.
Though it looks like he might be eyeing just Death Striking the Argent Port this turn.
It's also possible he might take some sort of line where he elects to Death Strike the 3/5 down and then swing in with the 4/4, hoping maybe to get the free braid here. We obviously see Rubik's has the torch to help pick it up, but it still would be a 2 for 1, so not the worst play in the world.
Yeah, that Vara's favor revealed that his opponent did indeed have a fast spell, so Love Up might play around the torch, and it looks like he will be as he's eyeing the end turn button.
Yeah, eyeing the end turn button, deciding not to go ahead and push through the Champion of Chaos here. And Rubik's picking up another Steward off the top. That's going to help. He definitely needs this gas to keep him in this game right now.
Love Up with 2 Wisdom Evolvers in hand, though, so very good card advantage for the Felnscar deck.
Yeah, Love Up going to fire off one of these wisdoms at the end of turn, and it's going to be interesting to see what cards he picks up here. Well, Black Sky Harbinger, that's going to be
That
very
is
good, and
very
another
good.
Permafrost. Two
And a
excellent pickups.
Celestial Omen. That's pretty neat. That could probably grab a Withering Witch if he wants to board clear.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what else Love Up is playing in his board that he could
I'm
draw
looking right
for.
now.
Yeah, it looks like he could draw into a Vara, so that's
He
another
also
really
has
good draw.
and Staff of Stories might be good here for the extra life. I think he might be eyeing that.
Yeah, Love Up choosing to play it patiently, though, just goes ahead and gets the Permafrost in, leaves his champion hanging out at home, and this might be where we go ahead and see... no, actually choosing to go ahead and Wisdom. I think he wants...
Oh,
Oh,
well, that's a good pickup.
yeah, those are basically perfect draws. We'll see if he sequences this right. I have to imagine you're going to go ahead and Black Sky Harbinger into Suffocate here and start pushing some damage.
I think he might go for the Celestial Omen instead. I don't know why, but no, he's going for the Black Sky Harbinger.
Yeah, I
Gain
think
3 life.
yeah, well, it's actually 4, and
Oh yeah.
I think that's why he was hesitating, as he kept eyeing the Suffocate, but he realized he wanted to do it in the other order, just like we saw. That way, the Black Sky Harbinger did end up picking up an extra point of health off of the at the time still living Arcport Instigator.
Well, now Love Up is very much in the lead with 3 cards in hand, one of them which can grab any card he wants from his deck.
Yeah, we see Rubik's actually picking up a Flame Blast, and
I was
if it
about
weren't
to
for the fact,
mention
yeah,
that's one of his outs.
if it wasn't for the fact that he had just picked up this Black Sky Harbinger and drained 4 life, this that Flame Blast Torch would have actually provided lethal, I believe. Yeah, it would have been 9 damage. So that 4 health pickup off the Black Sky Harbinger was exactly what he needed.
Yeah, this was a very nice draw. Let's see. Well, I think this turn, Love Up's probably just gonna thin out some power from his deck, hold up either Celestial Omen end of turn, or the Death Strike on any unit.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and fire off his Seek Power to go ahead and dig up a Sigil, and he's got the Celestial Omen at the end of Tesseract's turn to go ahead and drag out whatever threat he's going to need. Likely to see that Staff of Stories come out if he doesn't choose to grab something like Vara to start putting pressure on the board.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Yeah, we see Obliterating Torch. That's gonna hold the ground down for the moment, but knowing that Love Up has a Celestial Omen to go fish Var out with, not super enthusiastic about the Obliterate. It's definitely the right play, but I don't think, unfortunately, he's going to be able to win the game here. He might need to recognize this too and actually go for Burn, just like Burn is face down.
Yeah, we may see him just no. Okay, but I think you could have gone face and prayed to top deck like another Obliterate or a Flame Blast for the lethal.
Yeah, I think you're correct there. I think that is the out you have to be playing towards. And weirdly enough, I mean, Rubik's is technically still on the same out. Well, no, actually, he's not now because if the 1 damage was unfortunately just too low off Obliterate, if he had put a little bit more up, it's possible that a Flame Blast off the top would do it. But fortunately, Flame Blast plus this Torch could only be max 10 damage. So
And
Love
here
Up,
we see him picking up the Vara. That's probably going to seal this game off for him.
yeah, he's going to go in there and find a Black Sky Harb, even though it's silenced, still a 3/5 to start pushing with.
Let's see if Rubik's gets punished. Nope. That should be it.
I mean, it's 2 turns, so it should be it. Yeah, unless he can find some sort of weird removal combination, but I don't think he is going to. And Love Up looking very comfortable over here with both the Death Strikes. Caleb's favor off the top, not going to do it. So we will see Love Up take the first game over Rubik's Tesseract with this Felnscar control.
Very nice game from both players. I think Love Up played that very well with the being very down in the beginning of the game and then coming back with all those removal spells. Very nice job.
Yeah, definitely. We will go ahead. Let's check out the teams here. We've been over Team Always Lucky quite a few times now, but for those of you just tuning in, we'll go ahead and run down the players one more time. Bobber Joe on Shimmering Combry, Bored Andrew on Rakano, and Rubik's Tesseract, who we have featured right here on his Stone Scar burn list.
Well,
They're all playing more or less kind of standard lists, with the exception of the Rakano and Stone Scar burn split some torches, and they also made a couple interesting cuts in the Rakano deck, such as the Navani War Singers and Rise of the Challenges to fit the curve better. On the other side, we have ECGBR, who has Arcante Soze. Sorry, I'm going to butcher these names horribly, by the way. Arcante Soze playing Rakano Plate. Dizan Grande on Combray Aggro, and Paulo Goriev, or Love Up as his in-game name is, on this Felnscar control list.
they have a very different lineup. I think they're the only team with a Felnscar control list that's basically fully complete with all the tools except for Torch.
Yeah, notably, what you just touched on, Torch has been stripped out of this deck. They're also playing a lot of very minor low removal threats. We only see one Annihilate and two Suffocates in the main board, in favor of the full set of 4 Lightning Storms and the 3 Withering Witches to go with it, as well as 4 Black Sky Harbs in the main. So this isn't too far off of the Felnscar control list. It's just missing Torch.
And another interesting inclusion is the main deck Rain of Frogs. Don't see that often.
Yeah, the one of Rain of Frogs is definitely an interesting inclusion, as well as the one of Furnace Mage. Like, some people elect to play it in the main, but not that often. I would say it's a little less popular. Also, one of Backlash. A lot of one ofs in this Felnscar control.
Yeah, the Celestial Omen is probably why he's running those cards. Even though it's a one of, he can grab anything from his deck for the current situation. That could be very helpful.
Yeah, I am curious to see if we will see that Celestial Omen fish up some of those more specific answers, such as the Rain of Frogs and the Backlash, or if he'll just keep digging up threats with them. Normally, Celestial Omen, a card that is used to dig for your finisher, but can often be used to find the removal or the counter you need in the specific situation.
Yeah. Also, if we look at ECGBR's Combray aggro list, they're running an Infinite Hourglass, which is an interesting inclusion in the main board, as well as opting to run a more aggressive version with Vidoccan Staff and Copper Hall Elite instead of Marison's Disciple and the other card that Combray aggro lists run that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, think we are almost done sideboarding here. Well, that's a lot of dust. I don't know if we actually could see this, but from our perspective, I'm staring at somebody about to dust 32,000 of
I
extra
don't think
cards.
they will.
So, yeah, unfortunately, we did miss what I think that was. Which of our
That
two
was
players?
Rubik's.
Yeah, Rubik's Tesseract with 32,000 dust of extra cards. But we are jumping back into game 2 right here. Love up 1-0 currently over Rubik's Tesseract with this Felnscar control list.
We saw Rubik's there with a all fire hand. Couldn't keep that one. Had to ship it away. Here we have a slightly better hand, but no early game, so this might be a runaway from Love Up.
Yeah, Rubik's going to have to rely on this burn to push him to the end here. On the other hand, we have Love Up with an interesting hand. He's got the Permafrost and the Var's favorite interact with any of the early drops, which Rubik's was lacking. And he's got this Feln Bloodcaster on 3 he can start pumping away with, and enough influence to cast it, fortunately.
It's also interesting that we see him save the Vara's favor, but it looks like it'll pay off here if he chooses to fire it off, picking up the Pyro Knight.
Yeah, definitely. I have to assume out of Love Up, we will probably see. Actually, if I were him, I would probably get the Feln Bloodcaster to board this turn, since you're not too worried about the Pyro Knight really going out of control. It's not like Rubik's has any equipment or weapons to go ahead and stick on there. So it would have sat as a 2-1 for now, but Love Up making the conservative play, deciding that he doesn't want the 2-1 on board.
I think he was also playing around a torch or something that would allow the Pyro Knight to trade with his Felon Bloodcaster.
Yeah, very possibly. I think it's not necessarily a bad idea to get the Bloodcaster on board and even not block with it. But like I said, Love Up just playing conservatively, and he definitely can afford to. He's got the Staff of Stories in hand. He's got the Black Sky Harbinger in hand, and the Death Strike. So he's definitely feeling very safe over here.
Yeah, that
Rubik's,
Staff of Stories is going to demand an answer.
yeah, it will. Fortunately for Rubik's, he's playing like the all burn hand currently, and Love Up outside of just putting a Black Sky Harbinger in play does not have any. He doesn't have an answer for this Stone Scar Maul, which is going to be pretty important. And we see Rubik's right here debating whether or not he wants to fire this Suffocate off at the Bloodcaster or whether he thinks he needs to hold out for a unit that he would find more threatening, like a Statuary Maiden or a Steward of the Past or this Black Sky Harbinger we see.
Looks like he's going to hold out. We're probably going to see a Staff of Stories here get answered with a Flame Blast, I would assume.
Yeah,
Seems like the best option.
if Love Up decides that he really wants to get this staff into play this turn, I have to imagine we'll see this Flame Blaster, possibly the Obliterate, also come back across the table to make sure that he doesn't start getting this very quickly scaling card advantage that Rubik's is going to have a hard time keeping up with.
It looks like Love Up just opts to wait on it. Probably wants to play a Harbinger next turn, or maybe Staff of Stories Permafrost. But here we see this Maul coming out, which is going to be perfectly answered by the Harbinger. So
yeah, Black Sky Harbinger are going to get in here and put that 1 damage up on the Maul to go ahead and bust that off. And now Rubik's is finding himself in a very interesting position where he has a lot of burn between these. Now we see 2 Obliterates and 2 Flame Blasts. There is like some out here for him to find another Flame Blast and another power and kind of just start picking away at Love Up. Love Up seeing this Obliterate go to his face may feel like he can actually get this staff in. We'll see if he makes that mistake.
If he does not pressure Rubik's, he is on a 3-turn clock right now with all the burn in his hand.
Yeah, we see the Staff of Stories obviously going to be able to give him an extra 5 health to probably keep him up, but he definitely is running out of health very quickly here. And Rubik's deciding what he feels like his best play is if he's going to go ahead and just get this Obliterate in here. I actually kind of like the Flame Blast here a little bit better. That way on maybe next turn you can go ahead and weave in, if you pick a power up, the Obliterate and the Argent Port a little bit easier.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the sideboarding, but I think Love Up may still have a Backlash in his deck that he could draw into with Wisdom of Elders.
Yeah, very true. I have to imagine he would have kept the backlashes in. He had the 1 in the main board, and I feel like he had at least 2 in the side. Yeah, and upon checking, he does have 2 in the side. So I feel like he probably did bring those in, given that he knows his opponent is on a mostly burn-oriented game plan.
Yeah, it was interesting not to see him try to dig for it. Maybe he's trying to save the backlashes for a bigger burn spell, but
Rubik's actually just picking up another burn spell here, so he is really forcing Love Up to actually have an answer to this. And this staff all of a sudden isn't going to be enough with the 2 Flame Blasts hanging around. If Love Up can somehow pressure his life total heavily enough, he might be able to swing this game, but I think he's going to be a bit too slow, unfortunately. Rubik's should just be able to close this out with running Flame Blast.
yeah, it looks like Love Up is also not opting to attack with the Felon Bloodcaster, scared of maybe a charge minion or something else, not even playing the Steward to pressure his opponent.
Yeah, and Rubik's here going to be looking for a clean win. Going to have to decide here. This is kind of that interesting moment where he has to decide what he wants to do, and he is going to opt to go ahead and put the Flame Blast into Love Up's face correctly. So it'll be on Love Up to draw an out, and unfortunately, maybe this Bloodcaster can pick something up, but it doesn't look like it. So Rubik should actually get this second game here, tying the series back up.
That was a very well played from Rubik's. If I was playing that, I probably would have sent some of that burn towards minions to try to keep the pressure down. But Rubik's coming through with that very. I don't think he played a minion the entire game.
He might have played 1 unit, but I think you are actually correct. Yeah, he just completely tempoed his opponent out with burn. And that's the power of the burn deck. Sometimes you don't need to put units into play. Sometimes you can just draw Flame Blast and Obliterate to go ahead and bring the game to an end, like we see there.
Very well played from both players again.
Yeah, so we are going to jump into some sideboarding here for Game 3 and take a look at what we're going to do to alter these players' game plans. Fishing around their sideboards, like we were noting on the Felnscar control, I think Love Up is definitely going to want to be bringing in those backlashes, possibly also a Suffocate. Outside of that, he doesn't have too much to play. Let's check out other player. Rubik's real quick. Really quick, just look at Rubik's sideboard. Rapid Shot, some Plague, some Furnace Mages. Yeah, not too much for him, unfortunately. That's really going to help out in this situation. Probably bring in some more units. The Stone Scar Maul
maybe
probably
the
came
Suffocate as well, for those big drops that have low attack. But other than that, I think he just brought the Stone Scar Maul in that match. Maybe a Suffocate that we didn't see. Not much.
Yeah, Stone Scar Maul definitely coming in, going to help out with the control matchup since they have generally few units on board. See Love Up going ahead and getting this Var's Favor down on turn 2 just so that he can smooth out his power a little bit. Lacking blue notably though, or primal, and that is going to be quite a hindrance with his hand full of a lot of primal cards.
You see him rip it off the top. That was a nice draw.
Yeah, it was a very nice draw there. Unfortunately, because he did not already have a second shadow source in there, couldn't get the Bloodcaster down on turn 3, and Rubik's just trying to aggro him out very quickly here. And we see a Soulfire Drake floating around, so we're going to see some very quick damage. I think I have a feeling Rubik's is going to go ahead and take this game.
Yeah, we have a Soulfire Drake in hand. It looks like Rubik's also opted to board in a Maiden, thinking this would go long, but apparently not. This is going to be done in short order if Love Up doesn't do something fast.
Yeah, Love Up may very well have to block with this the Steward of the Past here, not to take 11 and go down to torch range here. And Rubik's has so much burn floating around the deck. There's so many live top decks for him here to just close this game out very quickly. And on Love Up side, even if he doesn't block here and somehow fades the torch, like he doesn't have a lot in his hand that he's going to be able to interact with this.
I think his only out here is a top deck Storm, which he doesn't draw. So
yeah, no top deck Storm. He can put the Bloodcaster in play, but that won't save him. He can put the Staff in play, but this also won't save him. Rain of Frog's not going to be able to target anything on the board, so Love Up go ahead and giving Rubik's the GG and conceding out. And that was a very quick game 3. I mean, that is textbook Stone Scar burn, exactly what they want to do.
yeah, the turn 5 kill.
Yeah, curve out 2, 3, 4, curve out onto 5, get the Soulfire Drake in with the charge, and just push massive damage. And Love Up just never had anything he was able to answer that board with. He didn't have any early game removal, no Annihilates, no Suffocates floating around to help clean up the early minions, no Var's Favor even to ping it down, Lightning Storms, just completely lacking, unfortunately, in answers.
Yeah, I didn't catch if Love Up redrew his first hand, but I would assume so because that hand was not optimal.
Yeah, not particularly optimal indeed. We do see that come to a close. Do we have result by chance for the other games in this series?
Let's see. Not so far. That was the first one finishing.
Yeah, that was the first game finishing up there. I'm not entirely sure. But let's see here.
Oh,
so that
wait.
will put them up 1-0. Do we have a second result
No,
coming
we
in
have
right now?
Rubik's just posted the entire match result. They ECGBR won 2-1.
ECGBR rather won 2-1. Which other matchups what other game did they win?
They won.
Well, they had to win actually the other two.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it was Shimmering Combre versus the Rakano plate and Rakano versus Agro Combre.
two interesting matchups there, both going the way there. So this is part of the team tournament we haven't touched on like an extreme amount, but the idea that it's not necessarily on you to win the tournament, and we see a perfect example there where Rubik's Tesseract was very easily able to take a 2-1 series and even taking that third game down very quick, but unfortunately the team is not being able to help him carry rest of the the
Oh,
other
we're
way
just
around.
getting an
Always.
update here.
Yeah. Sorry, we got corrected information, so this will completely undo what I just said. I'm sorry. Rubik's Tesseract actually did contribute, since Always Lucky did in fact win the series 2-1. So Rubik's Tesseract actually being very instrumental. On the other hand, so very good job for them. Congratulations to Always Lucky. They will be in the winners bracket finals, which will be round 6. We will